The journey to a functional 3D pogo stick continues today on this episode of Tricked Out. First, I want to say congratulations to Ivan. This is your 3D printed pogo stick. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. And because of all of you, we've reached another goal, and I'll be giving away another 3D printed pogo stick. All you have to do is make sure you're subscribed, like this video, and leave a comment down below. I'll announce the winner on my next Tricked Out video. Let me introduce you to the new 3D printed pogo. Now here's a quick recap of this whole process so far. I wanted to customize a pogo, but I needed a certain part. Found a website and I ordered a 3D printed part. Once I got the part, I realized I would need more. So I looked at getting my own 3D printer. In my head, I thought they were gonna be thousands of dollars. They're actually relatively affordable. Once I got the printer, I did a few test prints and tested out some parts to upgrade my printer. Half the fun of owning a 3D printer is printing parts for your 3D printer. So this is where my first Tricked Out video came in. I just got a 3D printer, so I wanna know if I can 3D print a pogo stick. My whole first Tricked Out video goes into this process. I was so amazed that it worked. The next step, of course, was to supersize it. I wanted a pogo stick I could jump on. And this takes us to my second Tricked Out video, supersizing a 3D printed pogo. Searching on Thingiverse, I found a toy called the Spring Flinger. This works surprisingly well. I want to explore this more. After days of printing, all the parts came together and I assembled the Spring Flinger Pogo. It was a little sketchy at first. Using some rubber bands to hold all the flingers together, solved that problem. Try number 2. Nothing a little duct tape can't fix. As good as new. I like to think it's stylistic. Attempt number 1. It got 3 bounces, it counts! 3 bounces is pretty good, but that's not usable. Once I finally looked at how the Spring Flinger Pogo broke, most of the springs just detached from the pegs. Since it was multiple pieces, there was nothing strong attaching everything together. When in doubt, super glue, and I gave it another shot. Spring Flinger, try number 2, or 3, maybe 4. We're trying it. Technically 20 jumps is what it needs to do to qualify to be a usable pogo stick. This means that if it didn't break, it could have qualified for the world's smallest pogo stick. This time, everything broke. It shattered. So I got to thinking, what can I do to make this stronger? Make it in one piece. I did not do this from the start because even though the Ender 5 has a relatively big print volume, it's not big enough to print a Spring Flinger. So I bought another printer. Now I had my eyes on a bigger printer for a while to print bigger pogo parts. This kind of sealed the deal. I got the CR10S 500. As a 500 by 500 by 500 build volume, 500 millimeters, metric. One solid piece I had to redesign, the Spring Flinger.
And it started. If this works, this will be the world's smallest pogo.
60 hours of print time. 60! That's my longest print ever. The way the layers printed, it made a huge weak spot where the flinger attached to the pegs and all the curves in the spring. I set it down and just gave it the slightest bit of pressure, and boom, everything broke. I have to go back to the drawing board. I reinforced the design to attach the spring to the pegs in multiple places, and I printed it in an upright orientation so the layer lines were longer and had a little more room to flex instead of just snapping. After a little bit of cleanup, I wanted to put a little bit of pressure on it. It's a springy! Yes! This is gonna work. Unfortunately, it's the middle of winter. There's a lot of snow outside, so I just need to wait for a warm day and the snow to melt.
Many months later.
And now, we get to test it out. It's still pretty cold here in Boston, but the last few days it's been warm enough that the snow is starting to melt. So we're gonna give this a shot. So much poo. Here it is. 3D printed Pogo. One solid piece. Okay, hasn't broken yet. I didn't think that one through. We can still make it work. Back to the drawing board.
I will make this work.